Impact in reverse. And this week we're taking a look back at Taylor Wilde's time with the company. Now, if you remember, she was with the company from 2008 until 2011 when she retired from professional wrestling. Now, with the company, she had 85 total matches. Her record was 46, 0, and 39. She actually had kind of an interesting start. If you'll remember, she debuted against Awesome Kong. That was during the time when Awesome Kong was issuing the $25,000 challenge to any contestant that would come out of the crowd and challenge her in the ring. Taylor Wilde actually lost the first match. However, we'll say that Awesome Kong was motivated to give her a rematch, and in that rematch, actually Awesome Kong had put the title on the line, and Taylor Wilde ended up winning the match and the title. Obviously a fantastic way to start your way in a brand new company, beating obviously the monster of the company in the Knockouts division and getting the title in the same vein. Now, there are a few pieces of history that she holds, and I'm going to get to those later in the episode. But first I want to talk about, in my opinion, the most memorable match that she had with TNA Impact. Now, if you are not a fan of intergender wrestling, I implore you to watch this match. This very well could change your mind. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going back to Slammiversary 2009. It was the Monsters Ball match. Taylor Wilde and Abyss versus Daphne and Raven. Now, at first blush, you might be mistakenly thinking that this one was carried by the guys and the girls were just there for fluff and they didn't really do anything, and you couldn't be farther from the truth. And there are three spots that I'm specifically going to talk about in this match that Taylor Wilde did. One is she had Daphne on the table on the outside of the ring. Taylor Wilde climbs to the top of a stacked set of speakers, which was, well, I'm going to say about 10 feet off the ground. Ends up jumping off the top, does a splash, hits Daphne through the table onto the concrete floor. Absolutely insane. And once again, this is in 2009, well before a lot of the women professional wrestlers were even considering or allowed to be taking risks like this. It was insane. We also had, towards the end of the match, Taylor Wilde climbed to the top rope, and Abyss essentially used her as a lawn dart, splashing her on top of Raven. Was a tremendous spot. Just something that was far away ahead of its time in terms of intergender wrestling. And let's not forget Taylor Wilde absolutely slamming Daphne into a bunch of tacks that were sprayed onto the canvas of the ring. Almost ends up getting the win. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of interference from Dr. Stevie Richards, as he was called at the time. Abyss ended up getting the win, pinning Raven, but just a fantastic match. Once again, throw this one in your GWN machine. If you're not a fan of intergender wrestling, perhaps this one changes your mind. If not, this is still a hell of a match to watch, regardless of intergender wrestling being your thing or not. So, like I said, Taylor Wilde was obviously a Knockouts champion. She was also a two-time TNA Knockouts Tag Team champion, once with Sarita and then again with Hamada. So now I'm going to talk about the couple of pieces of history that she holds in TNA Impact. So she actually has the record for the fastest win in TNA Impact history, and that was against Velvet Sky, and that was a 5-second win, believe it or not. So not only does she hold that piece of history, this one I think is extremely important, because if the landscape of Impact continues the way it does today, this may never happen again. Taylor Wilde is the first knockout ever to hold both the Knockouts Championship and a tag title at the same time. Pretty impressive. Once again, one of these knockouts that I don't feel gets her due, but that's why I wanted to take the time to shine the spotlight on her in this episode of TNA Impact in Reverse. Boom!
Hey, Taxman here. Did you like that video? If you did, make sure you throw a like on it. Also make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if there's somebody or something that you want us to spotlight in the next episode, please make sure you leave a comment. Once again, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and tune in next time for another episode of TNA Impact in Reverse. Boom.